Hey, this is Pastor Steele. I'm sitting here with my three sons.
What's up? I'm Isaiah Steele.
Hey, what's up? I'm Isaac Steele.
I'm Irish Steele. What's up, y'all?
And let's get right into it, man. The Mavericks are down 3-0 in the NBA Finals. Definitely did not see this coming. Obviously, we knew with the Celtics coming in, they were the best team all year.
Sure.
But it seemed like the Mavericks were the hottest team in the playoffs. Felt like Boston couldn't get a win at home. And now these brothers can't lose. It's like they're catching stride at the perfect time. Being down 3-0, were y'all shocked by this, or is this common?
I am shocked. I really thought it was going to be a dogfight. I thought this was going to go at least 6. Mm-hmm. And I felt like Boston, had the advantage because when you look at the rosters, they definitely have a better team. Yeah. But I didn't think it would be a potentially sweep situation.
Right.
I still believe that the Mavericks are going to win the next game and push it to a game 5, and then I think it's over after that.
Yeah, what do they call it? The gentleman's sweep.
Gentleman's, man. I think that's what it's going to be.
That's what they call it?
Yeah, gentleman's
I like
sweep.
that. I like that.
We'll let y'all get one. I'm going to be a gentleman about it.
And plus, I don't know about y'all, I would want to celebrate in my city after a championship.
Same.
It's not that I'm not going to play hard game 4 there. Yeah. But, I mean, if we lose, I'm hyped back to the city. Well, I'm letting everybody know, pull up.
Yeah, at the same time, though, I want to win it in Dallas, man. Dallas lit, boy. They got everything out there. But I can see where you're coming from, though. You want to be at home, enjoy the festivities. Yeah. Like, it was cool seeing Denver win it all. Last year in Denver, fans get to experience it, especially, the Celtics only have one championship in the color TV era. Right. I'm talking stuff. I'm a Lakers fan, so I heard they about to tie the Lakers. They're about to beat the Lakers for most championships.
18-17 now.
Wow. Yeah, so it'd be cool for the Celtics fans to actually see them, win it because, it's been the first time since 2008. So it'd be cool.
And I'll spin off real fast. I wish the Timberwolves made the finals. They are such a better matchup. They match up better height-wise, defensively, their bench, because that's Dallas's issue right now. They have no bench whatsoever. And then I was talking with Ira and EJ, and of course we had our opinions on the finals, but I kept saying over and over again, it's going to come down to the bench, 1,000%. Yep. Somebody always has to come up and step up, always. And you got Drew Holiday coming off the bench for the Sales going stupid.
He's going crazy.
And then last series he averaged 18, 6, and 6. Right now I think he's averaging another 18, 6, and 5 or something like that. So Drew's has been productive. Always makes the right play. He's professional. But I just wish the Wolves made it. It would have been a better matchup. The Celtics probably still would have won. I'll keep it real. But it just would have been better ball. I feel like without Luka and Kyrie, they're very mid team, very mid.
Yeah. And I feel like even since you mentioned it, Luka, man, definitely has been exposed these finals for whatever reason. This brother is allergic to defense.
Can't do it.
He can't move. And it's crazy because he's still fairly young. It's not like he's an old head yet, but he's always moved a little bit slower or whatever it may be. But in the playoffs, it's effort. Yeah. I understand being slow. I understand being heavy-footed, as we used to say, pulling trains.
Right.
Totally understand that part, but the effort just isn't there. He looking to get and push. It's like he plays basketball like how dudes do at Fitness 1.
Right.
I feel
we just trying to get a bucket.
Yeah, they get beat to the basket. They grab and do.
They cherry pick it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good way of putting it.
And that's the way it looks, and that's not a good look for him because he's definitely is the now of the league. Now I wouldn't even say the future. He's now between him and Joker and Giannis. 3 guys from different countries, they run the NBA in a sense.
And it's sad because the overseas guys, they're phenomenal shooters.
Yep.
But they can't play defense at all, except for my man in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And and then even what's name can play
Gobert.
Yeah. And he getting old.
When he wants to. Either that or you have that boy running in circles like Steph Curry did. What was that, last year?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Nah, it's the thing that makes me sad about seeing Luka, because we all know Luka's a phenomenal, is an offensive weapon. You look up, this guy has 35 points, easiest 30 points you ever see. It's real quiet, gets it done. But I think one thing that the new generation's forgetting about with hoops is two ways. It's not just offense.
That's right.
Right.
It's defense too. That's why a guy like Anthony Edwards stuck out to us a lot, because a guy like him's getting it done on both sides.
Right.
Besides, we try to call out Kyrie, that went bad.
Yeah.
But besides that though, Anthony Edwards, he's a guy that takes pride on the other side of the ball, just like how Jordan did, just like Kobe, just like young LeBron.
Yeah.
All the greats we've seen, they take pride on both sides. While a guy like Luka, we see it. His 5th and 6th foul were bad fouls.
Yeah.
You could tell he's just tired. They're 100+ games in at this point.
Yeah.
He's out of gas, and he's 25. He's 2 weeks older than me.
Right.
And I'm like, how are you out of gas? This is your job, bro.
And you know what I don't like is people are like, Jason Kidd in his post-game interview, and I like Jason Kidd, throwing shots, but he was like, Luka's carrying such a heavy load on the offensive side of the ball. It's affecting his defense. Yeah, I understand that, but people was trying to compare him to LeBron for a little bit. Hold up. LeBron was doing this thing on both sides of the ball.
That's right.
Wait a minute now. Like, let's not even go there. Like, I'm not going to let his offensive load get excused for his defense. This is not how it works.
And I saw a lot
That's
of
the thing
players,
about basketball. It's both ways, both sides.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of players, or I saw a lot of people on like social media saying that 22-year-old Luka was better than 22-year-old LeBron.
That's crazy.
They're saying 25-year-old Luka was better than 25-year-old LeBron. It's like, no, man. One thing about LeBron is that, like, you know what they say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's why LeBron's the king, because he put that crown on, and guess what? Both sides of the ball, he's not only on offense, dominating, distributing, shooting. Back then, his shot wasn't the best, but getting to the rack, distributing, rebounding. And on the other side, he's chase down blocking, picking up the best player. That's what makes you that guy.
Right.
Is that when you're the best on both sides of the ball. And we love Luka Doncic here.
Yeah.
I think Luka's great.
He's great.
He's been great. You know, he has offensively, he's, like I said, he's a weapon out of this world. But we all know this is a two-way game, and he's being exposed.
Yep.
Defense wins championships. We all know that.
Look at that LeBron block. I'm glad you said that. That LeBron block with Golden State Warriors. Come on now, Luka not making that play. And LeBron was in his 30s when he did that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, don't even stop. Don't even start with the LeBron-Luka comparison. Please don't.
You can't do it.
Don't do that.
And that's the other thing, too. We saw the performance last night. Luka still had a great game, 27 points, fouled out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think if that was Braun not playing defense, I think it would be a crucifixion. I think you would see the Stephen A's and the Shannon Sharps and all them dudes coming out the woodworks talking about how, you know, he's really not goated and things of that nature. But that goes to show you the expectation for LeBron is different than Luka. Yeah. They looking at Luka like, well, he is hurt. You know, his knee has been sore. It has been 100 games. I understand all of that, but when it's championship time, all that stuff go out the window.
Absolutely.
It has to go out the window.
And also, too, 25-year-old LeBron never had a Kyrie next to him.
No.
He never had a guy who can take on some of the burden. I mean, Kyrie had 35 last night.
Yeah.
LeBron never had a guy that young when he was 22 to 25. Before he left to Miami, he had a guy that can go get him 35.
No.
Never had that.
The only guy that even came close was Eric Snow, and Eric Snow was at 18.
Or like Mo Williams back in the day.
Mo Williams was like a 15 to 18 guy. Never had a guy just dropping 30.
Ilgauskas, it was not there getting 35. The guys are still solid, but come on now.
So now we know that LeBron-Luka comparison that's down the drain.
Out the window.
For sure. And now we're looking at it where it's looking like, was it Saturday, I believe, is game 4.
That's
Friday.
Tomorrow.
Cool.
So Friday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
It's looking like the Lakers got to move over, and here come the Celtics hanging up that banner. I know that kills you, Ira, but I mean, it is what it is, and you know we're gonna see what's gonna happen come NBA Finals. I think it's going to 5, in my opinion.
It's gonna go 5.
I think it's going to 5.
I'm gonna say 6.
Okay.
You stretching.
You're going crazy. I think 5. Jesus. I think it's a gentleman's sweep. Speaking of NBA, man, unfortunately, Jerry West passed away this week. 86 years old. If you don't know who Jerry West is, I'm sure if you Google him, all of his accolades is like a scroll, if you will. A champion in the NBA, was a head coach in the NBA, a GM in the NBA. He's even the logo of the NBA. That red, white, and blue picture you see is him. Yeah. And he's gone on to be with the Lord. Now, here's the question for you guys. They've been saying now that he's passed away, should they change the logo to somebody else? And in your opinion, do you think that's fair, or do you keep it the same?
I think it needs to be Kobe.
Kobe.
Yeah. I think that, that's my personal opinion. It's been him for a lot of years. And I'm not taking anything away from him because he was a phenomenal basketball player. Not really a phenomenal coach, but a phenomenal GM. I think he's one of the top GMs that ever did it. He brought Kobe and Shaq together. So he had a great run. 86 years is a good life. But in my personal opinion, I think it should be eventually changed to Kobe.
Switch it over to Kobe. What do y'all think?
I say they should do a vote, man. Kobe, Jordan, or Braun.
Who do you leave the vote to, though?
The vote goes to, I think the vote will go to Jordan. I think Jordan, just because he changed the game so much.
Yeah,
he really did. Like,
no, but I'm saying, like, who do you think would vote? Like, should it be players? Should it be U.S. citizens? Should it be Hall of Famers?
Media.
I feel like
media. They always use the media.
They're always going to use the media, but I feel like it should be all current and retired NBA players.
Agree.
That's
like
it. That's it. Just send a
Guys,
mass email, bring them all together.
Yeah, I like that.
Because they're equal.
Yeah.
You know, these writers, none of them play.
Man,
they
what?
ain't even play
They ain't
elementary
take,
basketball.
They've never even taken a charge before.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you still got them young dudes who appreciate Kobe and you know Jordan's greatness. They'll still vote for them too. You know, it's not going to be all young guys for Bron, all old guys for this. It'll be a mix.
Stephen A. Smith shouldn't have an opinion. His
agree.
brother played at Norfolk State or
Not
He
even.
averaged a point.
Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with Isaac. It should be guys that current and former. And if I was voting, as much as I believe Michael was better than Kobe and LeBron, I would still vote for Kobe just because he lost his life at 42 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
Good way to pay their respects. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, and I think
all those other guys are still here.
Yeah.
And they're gonna retire Jordan's number everywhere soon. I feel like that'll happen too.
23.
I can see them retiring 23.
Wow.
I can see it happen.
Yeah, they
I'm not saying
retired Bill
they are.
Russell 6.
Yeah.
You know, Bill Russell, they retired his 6.
Everywhere?
Yeah, you can't wear 6.
Unless you have it on already, like, you know, up until last season, you can't ever wear 6 again.
Wow.
Yep.
So if you're a young kid, 6 your number your whole career, you get to the NBA.
You can't be
you can't
Dr.
wear
J.
it.
Man,
That was
can't-
Dr. J's number
Or
2.
Heat
Yeah.
LeBron, you can't be none of that.
those guys.
Can't do none of that.
Six
So I
is
feel
gone.
like that's why I agree with Kobe, just because they're going to retire Jordan's number everywhere, and that's enough respect. You know, retiring your number around the whole league, not just one team. That's big.
Yeah.
Nah, I've been seeing people say that Jerry West checked out yesterday because he couldn't see the Celtics put up another banner. He had to get up out of here.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Man, but you got to give him his prop. He made one of the best draft picks ever because obviously we all know that the Lakers didn't even draft Kobe.
Nope, the Hornets did.
The Hornets did, but he got him in a trade. He saw something. I mean, but he was such a phenomenal athlete, you know, back in the 70s and 60s. It's crazy how he was able to really zero in on Kobe.
He
high
had a
school
look
kid.
in at talent and a
saw
high school
talent.
kid from Italy, if you will, and then, you know, moved to Philly and everything like that.
He wasn't a big. He wasn't
right. He's a
7'1".
guard. He's a guard.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
back then, you got to remember the NBA was big man dominant.
Yeah.
You know, he came into the NBA when you had, you know, David Robinson still running around.
Dikembe.
Hakeem
and
Olajuwon,
Dikembe,
Dikembe Mutombo.
I mean, he came into the
Yeah,
league like
he did.
That's when guard play really started, you know, becoming like a big deal.
96.
Between him and AI,
Yeah.
they changed the guard play.
They're the
in
same
basketball.
draft. Him and AI were the same
That's
draft.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
went 1.
Matter of fact, he went 1.
Yeah, and then
Allen Iverson.
Kobe went 13 to Charlotte Hornets.
You went 13?
Yeah,
13.
because he was out of high school, and up until that point, the year before that, Kevin Garnett went to the Timberwolves out of high school, and he was a big. And I watched an interview with Kobe. Kobe said the reason why he jumped was because of KG.
Right.
KG went straight from high school right to the Timberwolves. You know, did solid, but like that gave him that confidence. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go do it. Yeah, I'm a guard.
That's
I'm
why
not,
he did it, huh? I didn't know that.
He said I'm not a big because he said he was going to Duke. Kobe was going to Duke. But then, you know, a guy like KG, he saw him do his thing. Was like, you know, I'm gonna go try this out. And you know, for Jerry West to, you know, he traded Vlade Divac.
Yep.
He traded, I think, some other picks, whatever else, for a high school guy.
Right.
That's a risk.
That's a risk.
Well, I can only imagine all the
That's
other
a risk.
administration looking at him
Yeah.
like, bro, what are you
Yeah.
doing? This is an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's not even
He
fully
was
developed.
17. He wasn't even 18 yet.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't turn 18 until August.
It's crazy.
So for them to jump and get a 17-year-old kid out the draft, we're gonna have you
Yeah.
come with us.
Yeah.
And he turns out to be, you know, top 3, I think, players ever.
Sure.
Straight up, like Kobe Bryant is a guy that even God, rest in peace. It's not even about his death. If he was here or not, we would still give him that love. You know,
That's
Yeah,
true.
Sure.
But yeah, rest in peace, Jerry West, great GM.
Yeah.
I think he has the greatest or one of the greatest NBA Finals shots of all time. That 1970s,
Yep.
that
Yeah.
1970 Finals, that full
Yeah.
court shot
Yeah.
to send the overtime. It was
Yeah.
only 2 points because they had a 3-point
Imagine
line.
if
Which
that
is
was
so
a
crazy.
three.
Yeah.
They would have won.
Yeah, they tied it up against the Knicks. I just watched that clip yesterday. It was crazy. And
Yeah.
Jerry West was an athletic dude, man. He
was.
was super good. You know,
was.
he's the first player to win the Finals MVP, and they lost that series.
And they lost.
So like, you know,
They
he's
sure did.
But even like in one of his last interviews, they had him on a stage, and he was talking about, people are throwing around this word dog a lot. Oh,
I saw that.
He's a dog or he's a dog. He said, I was a wolf. He
Yeah.
said, I eat dogs.
Dang.
And I love that
That was
type
good.
of mentality that he brought to the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And I will say this, we talked about how, in a sense, he discovered Kobe, if you will.
Yeah.
I think Jerry would be completely fine switching that logo up.
I was going to say
Even in his grave, saying, give that to Kobe.
Give it to
For
Kobe.
sure.
Because he's had that for the past, 50 years, 40 years?
Created,
Since it was created.
Since it was created.
50 plus.
It's just the merger, the NBA, ABA merger. And that's why, and I agree with you, bro. I think Kobe Bryant should be on it.
Yeah.
Him or Jordan. Because Jordan, of course, made the game global.
Yeah.
But, I think to honor Kobe Bryant, because Jordan, we're going to see that Jordan logo on them shoes forever.
Sure.
He's going to have that print. But I think Kobe getting the NBA logo would be great just for the future generations. Because, one thing I'm seeing about Kobe now is kind of sad. I think LeBron's greatness and even Steph Curry's greatness is kind of like, overshadowing Kobe's greatness, making it a little buddy.
Yeah.
Because, by the time Kobe took over, let's say 2006 to when he had 81 to let's say about 2010 after he won back-to-backs. That's when LeBron really took over.
Yeah.
LeBron went to the Heat, took all the attention. Yeah. So Kobe only had, let's say 4 or 5 years of that spotlight. After that was gone while Jordan, while LeBron, these guys had literally
their whole
decades
career.
plus of that spotlight. So
that is true.
So Kobe's career does get a little muddy to the younger generation, and like these kids gotta know, man, that boy Kobe Bryant was a killer.
Yes.
Like I remember being a kid, like late game,
You knew who was
late
on.
game. I was never nervous. It could be close. I know Kobe's gonna make a play.
Yeah.
Me and Ira watched the buzzer beater at Peter Piper Pizza against
I
the
was like
Phoenix
6 years
Suns.
old
We were
against
like
the
6
Suns.
years old. Ira was like,
Yeah.
"Look, Kobe gonna make this. Look." And I was looking. Kobe showed enough hit that elbow jumper.
Yes, I'm
buzzer
saying.
beater. Game
I
over.
tell you what, if prime Kobe was on the Mavericks last night, that comeback, they win that game.
Man,
He
yes.
was out there playing.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, you got Luka fouling out, trying to take a
Yeah,
charge
I
with
told
5 fouls.
Isaac, I said, how you foul out? You haven't clamping up. Usually like a Drew Holiday fouling out makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
He holds the best
out there,
player.
a Lou Dort, Jaden McDaniels, a guy who specializes in defense fouling out. That makes sense. But how you out there the worst defender in NBA history statistically? He's the worst
It's
ever.
called lazy, man.
Like the most blow-bys ever. Like I said, that fifth and sixth foul was just fatigue. He grabbed Jalen Brown's arm on the fifth one, and the sixth one tried to do a charge. You got five. You putting the whistle in the ref's mouth already.
Yeah.
And of course you're letting the refs decide your fate, bro. That's not really smart to do.
Yeah.
Not at all. But I say that to say, if Kobe was on that last night, he doesn't make that, because Kobe's so high, obviously, his intelligence in the game and in that dog that he had.
Skill level out of this world.
Skill level and just passion for the game was different. So R.I.P. to Jerry West for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, R.I.P. always to Kobe, man.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P.
Gone way too soon.
Way too soon.
Way too soon. But let's switch up speeds here. We're going to go to the NFL. So the OTAs just got done, basically finishing up. There were some surprise people that didn't show up, some people that did. OTAs is essentially like a summer camp for football. So, I mean, it's really it's not training camp or anything where you're really getting into the grind. But, that little summer camp is really, I feel like, was created for GMs and coaches to make sure you ain't getting fat. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. It's like a check-in.
Right. This cat's been in Cancun all summer.
Yeah.
We got to have you right. You out there sweating out tacos and tequila. We need to make sure you've been training. So that's what OTAs are for, and that's wrapping up. Obviously, our Omar Khan, general manager for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the con artist or the con man, as they say, has not announced a starter yet as far as the quarterback for the Steelers. I think we've talked about this before. I don't know if you guys saw any highlights, but they both look dang near identical.
Yeah.
Obviously, Justin's got a little more athleticism, but Russell looks like Seattle Russell. The way he was throwing the ball, his deep ball is still second to none in my opinion. Him and Aaron Rodgers have the best deep ball.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching them throw and everything like that. So I guess the real question is, in our opinion right now, who's the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
By far, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he's got the experience. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's in his latter of his career. I think we need to give him these next 12 to 24 months and see what he can do. And then if it doesn't work out in these next 12 to 24 months, man, let's go with Fields. I like Fields. I ain't got nothing bad to say. I think he was just on a horrible team.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to be a good fit for our team.
I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like it's Russ right now, just off experience. He's a vet. We respect his play, Super Bowl champ. However, I don't think it'll be like 12 to 24 months, in my opinion. I feel like He might be on the team still, but I feel like Fields is going to take over probably game 6, 7. It just depends on how we're rolling. Yeah. If we're rolling, we're going to stick with Russ. You know us, we stick with the hot hand. Look at last year, we had 3 different quarterbacks. We stayed with the hot hand. So I feel like that's how it's going to go down. But me personally, I want Fields to start just because we never had a running quarterback, and I feel like if we do, it's going to be a game changer, man. It really will. Look what happened with the Ravens. Joe Flacco was still good. Don't get me wrong. With that running quarterback stuff. Look at Lamar. He turned them completely around.
He should be our quarterback right now.
Yeah, I was
we
so upset when we didn't draft him.
Running quarterbacks are in, dude. You got to be mobile. You ain't got to be Lamar, but you got to be mobile, man. You do. So I feel like I want Fields to start, but it's gonna be Russ. It will.
Yeah. I think like you said, out of respect, I think Russell Wilson should start game 1 because, Super Bowl champion, got the pedigree. Even last year in Denver, he was not doing bad.
Right.
Yeah, they had a little skid at the end, and then he ended up not starting over contract stuff, whatever. But, the first, I remember they started off like 0-4, and then really went like a month straight without a loss, something like that. They won like 5-6 games straight. We watched them beat, was that Buffalo?
They beat Buffalo, the Chiefs.
Yeah, they beat good teams.
They beat good teams.
And Russ was out there balling, doing his thing, Last year, he led the whole NFL in fourth quarter touchdown throws. Like he was doing it like that. Like so, honestly, I would say let's start Russ. But me personally, man, to bring it back to high school, if I got 2 quarterbacks that are maybe the same, and I got a junior and a senior, I'm going with the junior. Yeah, I'm going with the guy I got 2 years with, not 1 year with. Just straight up, that's how I feel. So if I was the GM, man, I want Fields out there. And I think a guy like Justin Fields is so dynamic. He's dominated on every level. We saw him at Ohio State, high school ranks. He was dominant. He was a baseball player too. It's just like, just like Russ, pure athlete. But I think I would definitely have Russ on that short leash. And hopefully, I think we're in a win-win situation. I think we are. Well, this is great. I agree. I haven't felt this good about our Steelers quarterback play since about 2019, 2018, at the end of Ben, because Ben's last couple seasons, it was definitely rough. That boy couldn't hit this camera right here.
Grandpa Ben was out there running around.
He couldn't do it. But no, it was bad. But I would say Russ day 1, but definitely he gonna have that monkey on his back because I think a guy like Fields, throwing some packages for him, let him go out there, get loose, do his thing because he's a dynamic athlete. But I just wonder how the locker room's taking it all. Like I would love to be in that locker room and ask guys, hey man, who do y'all want? And hear what they got to say.
I mean, I keep it a buck. I think right now you ask our locker room, they rolling with Russ because he's a natural leader. Always, him. He's a talker too. Where I feel like Justin, I remember about 4 years ago, longer than that now because he's been in the NFL, but he was on a show called QB1. It's on Netflix. I believe they still have it on there.
That show.
And he was on there and was phenomenal. And everybody knew it, but he knew it too. And so you could tell the cockiness that kind of came with him and everything like that. He ended up snapping his pointer finger in the first playoff game of that show, and they ended up losing. Couldn't go to state because he couldn't throw. Wow. And he had to end up sitting out the rest of the year. But I remember watching that show being like, that kid's good. I just hope that his character and his leadership develops.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he changed from 16 to 26.
I'm thinking from 18 to 26, there should be some significant changes, especially because he was already a quarterback for the Bears. But you didn't really see him being a rah-rah guy.
That's true.
If you look back at his highlights, he's a powder in a sense. He reminds me of Luka. He's a baller, but you can tell that, if things ain't going his way, you can see the pouting instead of the "come on guys, we got this." Where Russell will do that.
That's true.
You see Russell throw a pick and he's going, that's on me.
He owns it.
That Justin there was a lot of him pointing and rolling eyes and stuff. You get the
true.
You know how you Gen Z guys, you guys roll your eyes.
Nah, you can't disrespect us.
Not me. I'm putting all of y'all in one thing.
Wow.
But in my opinion, I think Russell starts, and I think you have a package though for Justin.
Yeah,
short yardage, red zone.
The fringe zone, which is the 40 and in.
He should be playing in every game, for sure. But I think you start Russ and see what happens. And let Russ lose the job. Yeah. Because we have the 3rd hardest schedule in the NFL. Sure do. Which means every week it's a new test.
Every week.
We got a 6-week stretch at the end of the season. Well, I'm scared of that.
And it's during the cold season, cold part of the year too.
We got the Chiefs, the Bengals, Ravens. We got a whole bunch of ballers, man.
Well, they sending all the juggernauts out. We got to fight. We got to play the Avengers. It's ridiculous, man. So I'm excited for it. This coming season should be good. Football can't get here soon enough.
Right.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling already because after Friday night, we ain't got no sports.
And I hope this series go to 7, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be boring for a little
Stretch
bit.
this thing out.
Yeah, it's just not
Well,
living.
hey, Olympics are coming up soon though.
Olympics are.
That's true.
That'll
Yeah.
hold us over.
Yeah,
That'll hold
next
us
month that would help.
Is that next one?
Next month,
Yeah.
next
Because there was
late
a summer,
July.
we've talked about it before, kind of, but when we didn't have nothing to watch, we started watching soccer.
We did.
As a family.
Yeah.
Boy,
The Gold Cup.
We get home from church and
To the TV.
and we didn't care who Ghana was playing Argentina. We
Right.
didn't care.
We sat right there. Real
Watched that
talk.
whole game.
Real
It's
talk.
just something about sports, man. Speaking of sports, last week Larry Allen passed away. Great Dallas Cowboy at 52 years old. Probably one of the most athletic human beings at that size to ever live, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Dude could run, he could jump, he could bench
Yeah.
press 700 pounds. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that clip of him benching 225
Yeah.
at
I
the
did.
Pro Bowl. It was
Yeah.
40 plus,
Yeah,
reps.
reps.
That's when the Pro Bowl was good.
Yeah,
It
that was
fastest
dope.
man competition.
Yeah,
Strongest
they be out
man.
there racing.
See who could throw it the furthest and all the
Yeah.
quarterbacks. That
I
was
used to
cool.
love that, man. That's the Pro Bowl I grew up on. But
Yeah.
you passed away. I mean, shoot, you got to see him play.
I did. He's matter of fact same age as me, 52 years old.
Right.
And that's why I say all the time, man, our bodies are so fragile. And we got to remember that we have a birth date, but we also have a death date. And that's why I encourage you that are watching, man, enjoy the journey because you just never know, And they were on vacation.
They're on vacation.
And they found him dead,
What happened? I didn't read up
Yeah,
on this.
they still haven't really disclosed what exactly happened. I think that after probably won't find out anything until after the autopsy.
Yeah.
But he was a big guy. Obviously,
Yeah,
he was under probably 300-400 pounds.
Yeah,
so-
being that size at that age, especially as a black man, is you're taking a risk.
You are.
We know that heart disease and high blood pressure, all those things run in our genetics, if you will.
Sure.
And so that's why it's important to do your due diligence as far as making sure your body's in the best shape that it can be at that specific age, especially as you get in your latter years.
Sure.
That's real.
Because the last thing you want is the enemy to take you out of here premature.
Yeah, because, here we are talking about Larry Allen, 52, but Jerry West, 86.
Right.
So it's like, my God, you know.
That's 34-year difference.
Yeah, he lived a full life, Jerry West did. And
did.
then this gentleman, his life gets cut short. It's unfortunate, but our prayers are with the family and
Absolutely.
And whatnot, and even with the Cowboys organization, that's a big hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Rest in
R.I.P. to
peace,
Larry
man.
Allen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sad.
RIP.
52 years old, one of the greatest.
Strong
Yep.
as an ox.
Yep,
Yeah.
strong as an ox.
Yeah,
he was an ox.
One of the best to do it too.
Yes.
as an offensive lineman.
Absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely. All right, let's get into our last segment. We're going to start a new segment called Fact or Fiction. So I'm going to ask a question, and we're going to say if that's a fact or if that's fiction, and then, of course, with your opinion. So we'll start with the first one. Are the 96 Bulls the best team ever? Fact or fiction?
Fact in my book.
That's fiction to me, man. They not beating them Warriors, man. Stop it. They not beating them Warriors, bro. Y'all can have all them little jump shots and layups. Y'all wasn't hitting those threes, man.
So
Y'all was not doing that.
So we got one fact,
No.
one fiction. What you say?
No.
Man, I'm rocking with the 2017 Warriors.
Yeah,
all day
man.
long.
Man,
So you
Y'all was in the paint, elbowing each other, man. We out here shooting threes. We
who
got
gonna hold Michael?
crossovers.
Jordan.
Let Mike score.
Yeah, let him score.
But who gonna hold Scottie Pippen? Klay Thompson.
Hey, Clay.
Clay
You
got
gonna
him.
put Draymond on? You gonna grab him by the throat?
No, we need
Draymond with
We
Dennis.
need Draymond down
I was
low.
gonna say Draymond.
Well, Dennis
gonna
Rodman not
gonna-
scoring.
He gonna get 2 points.
Dennis Rodman gonna get 4
Dennis Rodman's
points
not
and
scoring
12
on offense.
rebounds.
He gonna get
Like,
20
hey, y'all gonna get
rebounds.
outscored.
Dennis
y'all
Rodman-
might be more
Dennis
physical,
Ro-
but y'all are
yeah.
gonna get outscored 1,000%.
Not only is Dennis Rodman not
1,000%.
scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, but I feel that.
I think it's a lower scoring game.
It
I
is,
don't think
right.
the Warriors go out there and drop 120. I don't think so.
Let's say best of 7 series. Who do you think wins that? Bulls, 96 Bulls, 2017 Warriors.
4-2 Bulls.
And 6?
Oh man, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Nah,
Because
because
you
my
gotta
thing,
remember
yeah,
between Scotty and Michael, Clay and Steph not gonna be.
What about Kevin Durant?
Man, who guarding KD, man?
Scotty.
Who's guard? Okay, so you gonna let Clay sit in the corner and get open shots? He's making them.
Ron Harper.
Man.
Harper.
Right, man.
They talk about defense.
Ron Harper's a great defensive
Was he good?
player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's guarding
And then
Curry?
We'll put Bill Cartwright on green.
Who's guarding Curry? Mike's guarding Curry.
Mike guarding Curry.
So and Pippen's guarding KD.
Yeah.
Man, KD about to. It's gonna be sweet chin music. Bro,
Jordan even getting
I'm
hit
sorry,
up, bro.
bro.
What?
I feel what you're coming from too when it comes to Jordan, but I don't realize the thing about the Warriors that time there's so much movement and screens, and it's not just straight up ISO ball. You got to guard me. It's like I'm running off of picks. I'm running off of screens, catch and shoot game.
Right.
That catch and shoot game is unstoppable.
And on top of that, help defense wasn't allowed till 2002. Like that's the thing is it was all ISO ball back then.
You get Steve Kerr on the team too.
Steve Kerr was knocking shots down.
Steve Kerr was not.
You got
Steve Kerr was
You got
not.
Sean Livingston off the bench
He ain't
knocking.
doing nothing.
Man, y'all don't disrespect
Don't
Sean
disrespect
Livingston.
Sean Livingston.
Don't disrespect
Sean Livingston been crazy.
Sean Livingston off that bench.
Don't break out of here,
Iguodala off the bench.
I want Iguodala.
Iguodala off the bench. Come on now.
Now I liked him. I like both of those
I like
guys.
both of those
Man,
guys.
I'm saying right now, I'm saying this.
We'll disagree to disagree.
I'm gonna say Warriors in 7. I'm not gonna say 6.
Warriors in 7.
I'm gonna say 6, but I'm gonna say
Bulls in
Warriors in
6.
7.
I say that 2017 Warriors.
So
man.
y'all say
Sorry.
Warriors 7, Bulls at 6. All right.
Sorry, they were too good. They were too good.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Y'all seen both.
no, I
I'll
watched
give you
I watched
that.
them play on YouTube.
Man, they don't count, man.
I watched full games on YouTube.
We be pulling up them black and white films.
Yeah, I be having to crank up my my old
brightness
school.
on the TV,
Yeah,
man.
I be having to crank up my old school DVD player to watch that.
How many points does Steph average?
Let me look
in
it up.
finals?
In
Well, in 17,
in
he
the
didn't
finals.
average a lot because
KD did.
took
KD
over.
came along.
I was gonna say because whatever he was averaging, he was only gonna get half of that with Michael on him.
'Cause he
got
got-
remember Michael was all defensive player team for 10 years.
No,
Yeah.
he defensive player of the year. I feel you on that, Dad. My thing is this: it's kind of like Ant-Man.
He averaged 25 that year, by the way.
Okay, he would
Curry.
have been about 12.
Sorry.
It's kind of
He
like
got 15.
Yeah,
12?
No, man. Listen, hey, my
I'm
thing
gonna
is
give
this.
15.
The greatest shooter ever. He talk about 12.
And Michael was locked
No,
him up.
I feel you on that. My thing is this: when it comes like, for instance, Ant-Man. Ant-Man was guarding Kyrie. I'm not saying Ant-Man Jordan or Kyrie's Steph. I'm not saying that. But if you in that sense, Ant-Man was using so much energy on defense, chasing Kyrie around, that offensively it affected him. I think it'll be the same thing for Jordan.
I disagree.
The way Steph Curry plays in this movement,
I
I think
disagree.
it would definitely wear Jordan down on the offensive end.
Michael can go do 36 holes and smoke 6 cigars.
But he was playing me and you back then.
He locking
Yeah.
locking them up.
But it depends on the rules too, because
I
you get
think-
hand checked in. So you put the Bulls rules in,
Right.
You hand checking Steph, and you're really gonna be off.
Right.
You get hit all the time. You have a rhythm. You're not getting touched. All you gotta do is shoot the
Man,
ball.
guess
Shoot
what?
the ball.
But he's about physicality. Imagine Draymond Green in the '90s physicality, boy. It'd have been looking like WWE SmackDown out there. Draymond would have been.
Draymond would've got a-
Draymond, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Draymond, he would not have been able to play in our era.
Really?
He wouldn't have been able to do nothing with Elijah Kareem.
David Robinson?
He couldn't have done nothing with Patrick Ewing, David
Charles
Robinson,
Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Oh no, even now I feel you, Draymond. But
Yeah.
I get that 100%. But one thing that Draymond does also have on
all those guys, I knew we were going.
Dennis Rodman as on the offensive end is distributing. They both can't score good.
Right.
But one thing about Draymond, he can pass. You look up, Draymond got
can shoot
8,
good
10
passes.
And
assists.
Draymond will hit a
Dennis
three.
Rodman was not getting 8, 10 assists. Dennis Rodman probably averaged 3 assists for his career.
Yeah.
So he's not even a passer. He's a defensive guy. He's basically playing one way. While a guy like Draymond not only is going to hold his own defensively, on offense, he's still going to create for the team. So, yeah, man, we can talk about this all
No,
day.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So
I
that's
still
what
can't
we'll.
believe he only averaged 8 points. He's probably gonna go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He would
Oh,
probably
yeah,
go. He still
100%.
will.
4
Yeah.
rings.
He's glue guy,
he's-
man.
yeah, he's a
the
backbone.
ultimate glue guy.
And I'm not disrespecting the 96 Bulls.
Not at all. We know,
Not at
yeah.
all.
72 and 10
Yeah,
is greatness.
72 and 10, that's
Yeah.
amazing. But
Yeah.
that 73 and 9 Warriors team, I'm sorry. I just think that they
Well, no,
come
they
out-
weren't 73 and 9 that year.
That wasn't that year?
No,
Okay,
that was
okay.
2016. They lost it. 2017 is when KD first year. He
Right.
came.
Gotcha.
And that's
right.
they lost one playoff game the entire playoffs.
Which is insane too to even
Jesus.
think. So that's good. All right, that's
Yeah.
one. All right, here's another one. Fact or fiction? Will there ever be another black president?
Yes, that's a fact.
You say fact?
Fact.
I'll say fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you talking about in our lifetime or just in general?
Just ever.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You think
There
so?
will
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
Because
there will
Obama
be.
didn't make us look like fools. You know what I'm saying? Obama did a great job. No trouble. No off the court, if you will, issues. None of that stuff.
Yeah, he
You know,
was
I feel
actually
like-
politically
and
correct.
he was politically correct and did a two-time term. So he did 8 years. I feel like he set us up good.
And it's crazy how our nation is less than 13% black.
Right.
And for some reason, a lot of black people think that they were the ones that put them in office.
No.
I'm like, we're less than
even with all of our votes.
And you know, half
still touching
and half of us felons, we can't even vote.
I know,
including me.
Half of us locked up. Definitely can't vote.
I couldn't even vote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is what the white man makes the world go round and round.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Because again, we only make up 12.5% of this nation. You know, so for them to put him in the office for 8, not 4 years, but 8. Like you said, he had 2 terms.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I say,
And he didn't make us look like fools. You
that
know,
part.
he was very correct. He
Yeah.
spoke well.
Yeah.
He was articulate.
Very.
You know? So
Even if you agree with the policies or don't, you know, I'm very big on that. You know, there's definitely things I don't agree with that he did put into place, and certain things that he pushed, and you know, he kind of had to do it. But you know, like you said, at the end of the day, Isaac, he made us look good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think he was sharp, articulate, you know, wife, family, you know, wasn't caught up in no scandals. He didn't have no girl up in the White House with him. Like, I you know, and people can talk about stuff, and I heard this, you know, he said, she said, whatever with Barack Obama, but or President Barack Obama, but you know, when it comes to presidency and the example that he set for the future, I think he did great. He wasn't out here showing his ass. He wasn't out here running around doing crazy stuff. I think, you know, he was the perfect example for us and, you know, for the next black president to come along. You know what I mean? He's kind of like Jackie Robinson. They always say Jackie wasn't the best, but he was the one that was the best for that at that time.
Absolutely.
He can mentally handle
you
it.
said there was somebody else better than him, too, but he couldn't handle it mentally.
They said that he would not, because he would react. You know, because you got to remember, and me and the Ira watch stuff on YouTube. They were throwing black cats out on the field. You know, during games where Josh Gibson, he would have got a bat, start swinging on it.
Started killing the cats.
Where you know, Jackie was able to keep calm.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You know, you have to. There has to be a Jackie Robinson before a Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's true.
You know, there has to be a Doug Williams before Patrick Mahomes. So I think a guy like Barack Obama was the person. You know, he wasn't the perfect one when it came to stuff for us, our people, to get stuff moved along. But he had to do what he had to do for the time from 2008 to 2016. For let's set it up for the future for my grandkids or whoever else comes on.
And plus, we all know the president is the head, but the Congress, the Senate, everything else is the neck. So I'm sure there was plenty of things he wish he could have did for us, for our community. But at the end of the day, you get outvoted by the Senate. Ain't nothing you can say. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
You know, so okay, cool. We'll all agree. I believe too. I think it's a fact. I think one
2030s, 2040s. I don't see it happening in the 2020s. But 2030s, 2040s.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It'll happen again.
There's gonna be a black politician who comes.
And people would be more open. I think people don't even realize we all know Trump crazy as hell, but he's funny. But like I feel like it's allowed us to kind of be open minded in a sense as a nation. We can have this guy who was on reality shows be our president.
He was never a governor. He was never a mayor. He's the only president ever that never was like in that position.
He got 34 charges that he was convicted on.
Yes, he is a felon. He is a felon.
He was here last
might
week
win.
Got a prominent church here.
Yeah, really.
And they're endorsing him.
Have y'all seen around Arizona? Boy, you seeing Trump endorsed. You see that boy smiling on the billboard. Like you would never know he was locked up.
Listen, y'all, I pulled through my neighborhood. I ain't never seen more Trump 2024 posters.
Signs in the grass.
Oh yeah, I just be waving at them too. They be waving them back. I'm like, you know, with their pickup trucks.
Teach his own, man.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
You know.
All right, here's another one. Fact or fiction? Can 30 NBA players play in the NFL? Is that a fact or is that fake?
I think that's fake.
That's fiction.
30 is a lot.
That's fiction.
That's fiction. There's only there's probably like 5 to 10 who maybe could.
I agree with that statement.
30 is a lot.
That's a lot.
It's different, dude. It's grit. Yeah. It's different mindset, plays. You have to know what you're doing. Like especially like a lot of NBA guys would translate to receivers, correct? They're taller, they're more lanky, you know, they're fast.
Tight ends, receivers,
Tight ends, receivers. However, people forget when they watch the NFL, when you're running your route, you have to pay attention if they're in man or zone coverage, and you have to break your route off depending off that. They're not. I feel like they can't put that together. That comes from training, from age. You know what I'm saying? From playing college to high school, you have to know that kind of stuff, and that's just one example. So I feel like they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it.
So y'all say fiction, not 30.
Fiction,
What
not
do you
30.
say?
I don't say 30, but I think a good amount could. If you like, you know, I think any of these guys that get to that, I think between football players, basketball players, baseball players, soccer players, most of these guys, you know, the ones that are just, you know, physically just superior. I think you could have put them in anything when they were children, and they could have been a professional at anything.
100%.
Like you know,
I agree with
you
that.
You got guys like Tyreek Hill. the way Tyreek Hill, you could have dropped Tyreek Hill off in Rio de Janeiro as a kid. He's the new Pele.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the alternate universe, he's in Miami, grows up, plays football on the street, turns out to be one of the best, fastest football players ever.
Yeah.
You know, you could have put him on a track. So I think, you know, those guys that are in the 1 percentile of athleticism, you could have put them anywhere. One thing about basketball that's different is what Isaac said, is just the technicalities of it. And also, too, about especially being a receiver, is that you play receiver.
Yeah.
If you're not getting fed, I mean, you only got 2-3 deep routes when you looking up and you come back to the huddle tired and you had them beat, you had to step on them.
And then not to mention, like, even if you ain't getting the ball, you're still running full speed out of routes, and you still got to block.
And you still have to block.
So it's
they're not blocking nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even foul you.
While basketball, dudes ain't getting the rock. Hey, come on.
Right. They getting
I'm taking
upset.
it up.
Yeah.
I'm taking it up. Give me the ball. So, like, you know, I think it's a different level of patience.
Patience, for sure.
And it's that grit. It's
different
that,
level of
it's
physicality.
That dog, too, man. But I think, you know, that's kind of hard because, like I said, it's a mindset thing. If I get an NBA player who people could consider soft or whatever else, just off of his athleticism, I could, you know, put him 5-6 years old in football, and he's gonna get that dog mentality.
Yeah.
So,
if you start as a kid, it's different. But just snatching 30 out the NBA right now, be like, y'all all playing tomorrow.
It's a lifestyle, bro.
100%.
You think
it's a lifestyle.
What's his name? Porter. You think Porter Jr. can tackle Joe Mixon right now?
Yeah.
Man,
come on now, man. That's why I'm like, stop it. Stop it, bro. You get ran over.
Imagine Gobert out there trying to run routes. That boy be getting jammed up at the line.
You can't count the 7 foot.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, he getting jammed up.
Who's the tallest NFL player that plays a skill position?
Man, it's very.
Even like a Darnell Washington for the Steelers, our tight end. He's 6'8".
Yeah, he's 6'8".
And he's more like a Mercedes Lewis. He's on the. He's got signed by the Bears. He's like 40. He's still playing.
He's still playing.
The Bears just picked him up.
That's
so a guy like Mercedes Lewis, their specialties more blocking. But let's think of I'm thinking of guys more 6'4" to 6'6" range. You know, like
I'm with you.
Like a DK Metcalf. He's 6'6", 6'4".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guy like Tyrese Maxey. I always say Maxey. A guy like that, he puts on 20 pounds. A guy like Ant-Man. I think guys like that could go out there and play football.
Ant-Man can play.
Just off of the physical.
But there's not 30 of those.
Like, for example,
not
not 30 like Russ.
So we all agree
like
that's
Russell Westbrook can play.
Westbrook.
Can play.
Yeah.
You got about 10 to 15.
10 to 15 for
Jaylen
sure.
Brown.
Jaylen Brown can play football.
Yeah. 30's a lot.
30 is a lot.
Just like these football players, I don't believe there's 30 football players that can play in the NBA.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I
Nope.
think so too. I think and thing about basketball too is that like it's skill work. And of course, football's super skillful, but like you know, most of these guys, man, if you were edge rusher, you playing a bonehead position. Go get the quarterback. Don't jump. Watch the ball.
Oh, Zion Williamson,
Watch the
he'd be
screen.
crazy.
Yeah,
Zion.
He's a freak
That boy
athlete.
be hurt every game, man.
Right.
That
We
boy.
put him on DN.
Yeah, he at the end. For sure.
For
But
sure.
I'm saying though, as a DN, your job is don't jump, watch the ball. You know,
Go get the
get the
quarterback.
quarterback or the running back who has the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Contain.
Watch the screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he ain't even got no dog.
No.
But I'm saying though, if you get a Zion as a
Get a
kid,
Zion.
As a kid.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah. And groom him.
Yes.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
he's gonna
Sure.
be a dog.
Yeah.
So that's all
I
I'm
agree
saying.
with
It's a
that.
lifestyle. Like I said,
Yeah.
this is really a birthright. It's a lifestyle thing to be a football
Where with
player.
hoops, you just put the shoes on, you go out there and make a few passes, layups.
Yeah.
You know, got to play good defense still. I'm not disregarding it, but there's just more that comes.
You can just
with
go play
football.
pickup at the park.
And that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
the three athletes I respect the most is, of course, got to start with Bo Jackson.
Bo.
Because he did baseball and
And
football.
football.
Yeah.
Then Deion, same thing, baseball, football. But then a lot of people sleep on Charlie Ward. Because
Yeah.
Charlie Ward,
Yeah.
he won a Heisman, a national championship, and then played for the New York Knicks for like 12, 13
Got to the
years.
NBA
When
Finals.
He was just born 20 years premature.
Which is crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is sad because he should have been a phenomenal quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know how that is. All right, let's do one more before we get out of here. Fact or fiction, was Boys in the Hood the best movie in the 90s? From the 90s, I should say. There was a lot of movies in the 90s, but is Boys in the Hood the best one that came out?
I'm going to say no. And the reason why, because if I'm not mistaken, Gladiator was 99.
Ooh.
2000.
That was 2000. I
Okay.
just looked it up.
Okay. Well, then
Okay.
I just watched it
I'm going to
recently.
go ahead and say, yeah.
Yeah. Coming to America is great too. 90s is tough.
There's so many movies.
There's a lot. The
if
reason
you-
why I say 90s is because they don't make movies like that. After the 2000s, really.
If you put those two movies in front of me, I'm going with Coming to America all day.
Coming to America.
Yeah, I'm going with Coming to America
That's a
over
classic,
Boys in
man.
the Hood. Good, Boys in the Hood is a great movie.
You know which ones I used to like is Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah. Anything for me with Eddie Murphy, 90% of the time I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Some of his other movies were kind of goofy, but when Trading Places, 48 Hours 1 and 2, and all the Beverly Hills. I think it was maybe three or four. His name was Axel Foley.
Axel.
Yeah.
You know they got a new one dropping.
New one coming out.
You lie.
I promise.
Yeah, see, nowadays they just do remakes.
They got
they remake it.
No
stuff.
way.
I promise.
Yeah.
I think they just got done. It gets released like in a couple months.
Another one. Oh, I'm definitely going to go watch that. I got to get over there to see Will Smith and
Bad Boys.
Yeah, I've been hearing good.
I think Bad Boys came out in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Bad Boys did 95,
Great movie.
96.
Yeah,
they did such a great job.
I'm telling you, that's the golden era of movies, man. The 90s from
everything was
Green Mile,
original. They came up with their own idea.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's remakes and throwbacks.
That's why we on Bad Boys 4 now.
Yeah,
2024.
Nah, Dad, I know you're a fan of the Green Mile. Bro, Green Mile came out.
Green Mile was good.
Green Mile was
I
good.
liked. Speaking of Tom Hanks, I liked Saving Private Ryan too. That came out in '98.
That's
Don't
good.
please
That was a
don't
good
tell
movie.
me Forrest Gump came out in the 90s.
Forrest Gump came out in
Forrest
95.
Gump.
Forrest Gump's great.
95.
I was going to say Forrest Gump
One
was
of the
up there.
best movies
Yeah,
ever.
there's so
Ever.
many good movies. I would say I still say fact, but like at the same time, there's so many good movies.
I say fiction.
Yeah.
I think
fiction.
my favorite movie of the whole '90s decade. It's a comedy film. It's Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. That's my
That was
favorite.
your one,
That's the one, man. And I know I would say that for funny, but for like an actual more serious movie, I'll probably say I might say Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is great too.
Yeah.
And Shawshank Redemption came out in '94 too.
Yeah.
Man,
there's no
so
way.
many good movies. I'll say fiction now. Yeah.
There's no way.
Shawshank of Redemption.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorites.
Man.
That's a
I've
great
watched
movie.
that thing
Yeah.
20-something times
Yep.
and can watch it 20 more.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
What my man said, he disappeared like a fart in the wind.
Farting the wind is crazy, man.
Oh man, whoever wrote that was in their bag, man. Because I don't know about y'all, but farts are still disappearing in the wind every day. Go outside right now while it's windy.
This cat dipped on him.
He got up out of there and was in Mexico chilling.
Man.
What a movie. If you never seen Shawshank Redemption,
Go see it.
you gotta check that out. That thing would
It's
be
on
on
YouTube.
TNT every night back in the day.
Yeah.
TNT would be showing that thing like
I
crazy.
lost a lot of respect though from what was the black actor in there?
Morgan Freeman?
He said that racism doesn't exist.
Well, when listen.
That money,
tripping.
that money.
When your
hey,
money long, I
Hey,
guess.
his
They
check's
don't
been,
exist.
his check's been clearing since the 50s. So he
real.
like,
Hey,
he
only
like,
only
right.
race
he like white people not so bad.
Yeah.
He on his way to Chase.
Yeah, because only race
Into the bank.
only race he sees is green. That's the only color he sees. After a while, he sees money. Like in the rooms he's in.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If
Yeah.
I'm that successful and that rich,
Right.
it don't matter what race.
don't matter.
It don't matter
Right.
if guys are Indian, black, white, green. It don't matter.
You
Or bring the
ain't,
money.
you
And
ain't
look,
thinking about Rodney King.
No, what?
You're not thinking about
What was
George?
Yeah.
George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
But
Not
no,
thinking
but
about
even
that.
the,
Who
even
we
the
talking
people
about
in the
again?
room, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
What's his last name?
Freeman.
Yeah, he's free. Yeah.
Listen, he living
He
through his
is.
name. That boy a free man.
Yeah.
Because even the people in
like-
the room, if I'm a white person, Mexican, Asian person in the room, and I see Morgan Freeman, I'm not thinking, look at this black guy. That's Morgan
That's
Freeman.
Morgan
Yeah,
Freeman.
yeah.
He's in a
Like,
different category.
He's a great, the dude's an accomplished actor, successful guy. Like I'm not thinking, so I can see how he's like, I don't see racism. Yeah, you don't, because you don't.
bet you don't.
You're not
Right.
an everyday person.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Right.
just like, I hate to bring it up, but R.I.P. OJ. But
Yeah.
even OJ, they were like, hey, they're talking about black people and something. And then OJ, he said, I'm OJ.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not black, I'm
I'm
OJ.
not black.
said, I'm
but
OJ.
But see,
thinking they're the exception to the rule.
But here's my conspiracy theory on that. Athletes can't be Morgan Freeman. O.J. Simpson. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay, and so then the allegations came out, and he was black again real fast.
Fast.
My man that was a boxer back in the day, he was knocking down a lot of Caucasian women.
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson.
Oh, that's one of my
He was an
favorites.
athlete.
Who had a flea.
People respected him because he whoop you.
Yeah.
But still, he was looked down upon.
Yeah.
It's them actors, man. Morgan Freeman is in the same category as like a Jamie Foxx.
Or Denzel.
Or a Denzel.
Yeah.
They just accept it in a different
Will
way
Smith.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
most of us. 'Cause
Yeah. That's
true.
That talent level is a different. It's just different than
it is.
someone who's a boxer or running a football or whatever it may be.
That's true.
Hollywood just puts them on a different pedestal. It's
very
So
true.
it's a different type of black over
Yeah.
there.
Different. Yeah, that's real.
That's very true.
Yeah, if you ever
Yeah.
get a chance, watch some of the documentaries on YouTube on Jack Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know, he was the heavyweight champion like in the early 1900s. I'm talking like 1906,
Yeah.
1908. He held the belt till 1913.
He's the first one.
And he was married to white women.
Yep.
And yeah, which was crazy.
It's illegal.
It was illegal. He had to run out of the
He
country
had to go to the
and
UK.
all that. It was crazy.
He had to go to the United Kingdom.
Even if you keep watching the documentaries on Muhammad Ali, he made the comment. He said that was a bad nigga.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you doing that back in the 1900s? They were still hanging us.
Yeah, you better believe
for less.
Yeah,
For less. For way less.
Yeah,
You know
hangings
what I mean?
didn't stop until probably the 60s, 50s,
Yeah.
60s, 70s. 70s you didn't see it, but
Right.
50s and 60s,
Yeah, man.
It was pretty
dope.
prevalent.
It'll get you going. But
Even
yeah.
Titanic came out in the 90s. Sorry.
Oh my
Titanic
God.
is a good movie.
Bro,
We
crazy
gotta, we gonna
movies,
have
man.
a a whole other episode talking about 90s movies
That's a lot
because
of them,
it's the golden era of the film world, if you will. Did you want to recap before we get out
Let
of
me
here?
briefly just recap. I preached a message called I Need Him. It was our family and friend service. Matter of fact, I had probably over 40 family members in service that Sunday, and I taught a message called I Need You, and talking about how we need each other. We were in Proverbs 27 and 17 where it says, iron sharpens iron, even as a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. And my whole aim was, you got to make sure that you, in this journey called life, if you will, you got to make sure you have the right people, on your team, if you will. And my whole aim was, number one, when you fellowship with people, it makes you better. Also, I talked about how it gives you an edge, because even Ecclesiastes 4:9 says 2 is better than 1. And the last thing I talked about was that not only will fellowship make you better and give you an edge.
But I know overall, I think it was a perfect message for a lot of people that have, whether it's like bad influences around you, or maybe you just need a change in your environment. You know what I mean? The people that you have around you. I'm not saying everybody around you got to be goody two shoes and speaking in tongues, but you should have a standard of individuals that are around you, because you understand, obviously, who you run with is a prophecy of who you are, of your future.
That's right.
And if you run around with a whole bunch of bank robbers and you get pulled over, automatically a police officer is gonna think you a bank robber.
Yep. Guilty by association.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you got those guys in the car. It's important to make sure that you have people around you that have your answer and not your problem, which is something that Dad has always preached. Just to make sure that we keep ourselves accountable.
Yeah. And if you look at successful people, they all had good people around them.
Mm-hmm.
They all had family and friends. They have mentors.
Yep.
That's why it's important to have those good people around you, because everybody at one point is going to need help in their lives.
Absolutely.
Everybody. Every successful person I read up on has asked for help at some point in time in their life. So it's always good to have a good surrounding with you.
And Dad, I liked how you talked about, not being so thinking about race. How you talked about how you had your father, a black preacher, a white preacher, and a Mexican preacher.
Yep.
You didn't think I can't, you can submit to every race, every type of people. You can be open to having different types of friends. And just like we talked about a couple minutes ago about like a Morgan Freeman, those guys are in those rooms. The people in those rooms are all successful and rich. Not thinking about he's black, he's white, I can't go to business with him.
No.
They're thinking, this guy, he's, looking at your brain, look at your brain capacity. You're not going to just judge him because he's not your own kind. And a lot of people can get caught up in that. Even in 2024, we're so far from, not so far, but we're, good a while away from integration in America. And I feel like now you still see that, Martin Luther King would always say the most segregated day is on Sundays.
Yeah.
You still have people. You still have people. You got the white church, you got the black church, Spanish church, and some of these people, haven't hit that stride yet, or they haven't broke through because they're not willing to venture out and try to get into bed with somebody else of a different race or a different, just nationality or creed, whatever else it is. And I think that was great you brought that up. Because there's people, I know there's people still in our church and just out worldwide that still struggle with that.
Sure.
It's kind of crazy because you would think, like I said, in 2024 that doesn't really matter when it comes to you might have my answer, you might not look like me, but we can still figure this out. I just love that you brought that up because there's some people that still aren't getting through that. And, a lot of it's a lot of it's hurt or just ignorance
trauma.
overall.
Right. Ignorance, a lot of it.
But
a lot of it's too is not looking at the big picture. Like I like how you said that. We all have the same mission, the same goal. You know what I'm saying? Why are we looking at little things like color? Why are we looking at race? It makes no sense. We all have one vision. We all have one goal.
If we don't see past color, you will do life with a limp. And you have to be able to appreciate everybody's culture And I'm glad you brought that out, Ira, because I was able to show on Sunday a picture of my first pastor, which was my dad. Then the second one was a white pastor, and the third one was Hispanic. And 1 Corinthians 9:22 says, be all things to all people to save some. So if I never had that exposure to other cultures, I would only want my people in my church that look like me.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that when you come in here any given Sunday, you're going to see all races and all ages. Because like you were saying earlier, Martin Luther King made the comment that the most segregated day is on Sunday, which is really a shame.
Yeah.
And I did find that third point. Not only does fellowship make you better, it gives you an edge. It also increases your faith as well. Mm-hmm. It matters. I always say, man, it's important to have some faith friends. Yeah. And I use that an example out of Mark chapter 2, where this gentleman was paralyzed, and 4 of his friends grabbed him in his bed, and the house was so crowded that they actually went on the roof and broke through the roof to get their friend to Jesus. And Jesus looked at them and said, your faith has made you well. And so, what a blessing, that, faith, I believe, is the difference maker, because we know the Bible even says in 2 Corinthians 5:7, we walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah. Romans 10:17, faith comes by hearing from the word of God.
Right. That's right. That's right.
What it's all about. That's what it's all about. Well, hey, listen, that's another episode of Still Strong Podcast. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and also the notification bell so you get notified every time one of these podcasts drops. In the meantime, we hope you all have the best weekend possible. You be safe out here in these streets, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.